Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Sorcery. Well, it's all topsy-turvy in my house at the moment. I'm sat here in a room full of bin bags. It's just recently been painted, the smell of paint lingering in the air, and I'm deciding to try and squeeze in another session for you guys in between moving furniture about. It's absolutely madness. Anyway, as we left off last time, we were visiting a variety of different villages, and we ran out of money, ran out of cash, and we had to camp in the wilderness. So as we move on, getting some coin may well be high on our priority list. Right, before we proceed, we shall just refresh our memory banks as to what we have in our inventory. We have a spellbook page with the words or the letters CA on them. 2 quantities of beeswax and a bamboo flute. We have our trusty sword, which we haven't yet used, and 1 meal ration and 1 bomb of fruit. So with those in hand, at least we can eat. We can always sleep in the wilderness, at least we can eat. When we struggle to start eating, that could be a problem. But anyway, fingers crossed, we may get some coin before we get to that point. Anyway, onwards and upwards. You wake early, gather your belongings, and then set off once more along the trail. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on top of the hill? Seems a lonely place for it. So you can go uphill to the village of Urustanti, or we can go downhill and bypass the village completely. Now we are still guided by the spirit of the gorilla. He has a sense of curiosity, a sense of caution as well. It has led him into trouble in the past, but as we got to the hut in the last session, it was a very close call between caution and curiosity, and the caution aspect won the day. He opened the door, or did he knock on the door? Nobody answered. We considered opening the door, but we just couldn't do it. We had to back away. It just seemed too dangerous. So, but when it comes to strolling into villages, that's something that we readily do. And we need coin. There could be work here, a way to get some coin. We need to enter. Oh God, these people look in a right state. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb, and you are forced to rest several times. So far, you have been walking through the foothills. Now the journey will become more serious. When finally you reach the summit and can look out over the low plateau you have crested, you see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. Okay. There are villagers out in the street talking and working. It seems a happy, bustling... Does it? It seems a happy, bustling place. Should we continue to watch? But no. The people seem happy and working away. Let's approach. There seems no obvious danger. You approach along the path until you are close enough for the villagers to notice you. The effect is immediate. They begin to scurry inside their huts as if you were an army and not a lone traveller. You cannot help but notice what a sorry bunch they are, squat and short, and all limping strangely. Their bodies are thin and malnourished, and as they disappear through their doors, you notice some are missing limbs. Perhaps we came here for the hope that there would be a way to earn some coin. It doesn't look like that's likely to happen. Any assistance? Not likely to happen, really, looking at the place. But the poor people do look as if they're in some kind of need. Should we offer any sort of assistance? We can't offer her much, but, well... Curiosity. Why are they missing limbs? Why have they scurried off? Stop and knock at a door. There is no reply. Oh my god. This almost feels as if the game is telling us, are you sure you want to continue down this line? We're giving you a chance to leave the village with your limbs intact. Well, we don't generally enter huts, as we've gathered from previous episode, so we shall try another. You approach the next hut. From inside you hear the murmur of voices. So, against the grain, he actually does enter. Okay, fine. We'll remember that going forward. Heinrich has now plucked up the courage to start entering huts without being welcomed. The hovel is tiny and poor, with no furnishing of any kind. A small fire burns in the middle of the floor, and by the far wall a family of 3 cowers back from you. The woman lifts a shaking hand as if to hold you back. No, we mean no harm, Heinrich holding out a hand of friendship. You put out your hand to greet the man. He shuffles over nervously and grasps it with feeble strength. Are you magical, stranger? Are you not afraid of us? Afraid? Why? Why? He replies. Don't you know? We have the plague in this village. You spring back from him, but it is too late. You can feel the infection on the palm of your hand like a curse. Oh no! Oh no, what have we done? What have we done? you know what, I'm racking my brain. It's been over a week since I last played the previous session. I seem to remember in some conversation somewhere in the past there has been mention of a plague. Is there a cure? The man shakes his head sadly. Some say to drink the juice of the blimberry, but we have all tried. So much that no berries grow around the village any longer. And we are still alive, I suppose, but we are not well. You take another step back in fear and regret. You have but a few days. Magic. Will any form of magic cure a plague? Let us flick through our spell book feverishly and find out. Right, zap. That's not is bolt of lightning's not going to help us. Hot, casting a burning fireball. Perhaps not. Foff is a magical and physical barrier. We could have cast a magical barrier before he shook our hand. That would have been helpful. Wall, an invisible wall. Okay. Law, dumb. Fumbling. Big is inflate the body. Walk. The metal shield. Dop is to open doors. Raz is to razor sharp your weapons. Sus. 6. Jig. That's not going to help us right now, is it? Commanding goblins is not going to help us. I mean, suppose if we... Okay, there's no question. You must do what you can for these people. And what exactly can we do? Well, if we actually use the spells now and get the first letters, it might give us a bit of a clue what we can and can't do. So we've got R... Is that a G? G, R, F and D. So G, R, F and D. Right. So G, R, F and D. Well, gob, no. G, R, gum? No. Dock. Dock heals wounded humans or creatures. And it doesn't seem to need... Oh, it needs a medicinal potion. We don't have a medicinal potion. That could be the only spell that may help us here. GRF. Could turn the room pitch black with a bit of fog. I think it's Dock, you know. I think Dispel is Dock that we could possibly use, but we don't have the required item. Nif. Let's just try D. O, C. Yeah, we don't have a... Yeah, heal disease. You see, it is Doc. We don't have a medicinal potion. Right, we're screwed. Do something else. Fear overtakes you and you race out the door and do not stop running until you are clear of the accursed village. Right, so... We can pray to our spirit who will cure the plague, but after a prayer your spirit will not hear you again for some time. Right, well what we'll do is we will try to see if we can find an alternative way to cure ourselves before we use this as a last resort, really. But yeah, we can't save the villagers because we can't use Doc because we don't have a potion, so the villagers will have to look after themselves. So we have to actually now figure out a way to, well... look after ourselves beyond the village. The path beyond the village heads downhill once more between thick trees before turning into a narrow goat track that crosses a rough peak. From the summit you get a wide view. Look around. Ahead, down a steep slope, the next village is sprawled out before you, and even from here you can catch the sound of merry voices and shouting from the streets. It must be a carnival. Looking right you hear a roaring noise, and can just make out a beautiful, majestic waterfall plunging from a cliff into a great rock bowl. You watch for a few minutes, marvelling at how clear the water seems. Then it is time to move on. You are feeling cold. Purple blotches are breaking out on the backs of your hands. Do we pray for healing? Or do we walk on? Are we going to stumble across a medicinal potion anytime soon? And if we do, are we even going to be able to afford it? I think the fact that we are now breaking out into purple blotches, coming down with some sort of a fever potentially, I think Heinrich is going to play it cautiously. He's going to pray for healing at the first sign of trouble. You drop to your knees, shivering and shaking, and mouth a fervent prayer to your spirit, the gorilla. Does it hear you? It is hard to tell, but then you begin to feel warmth creeping through your bones, and purple marks on your skin are fading away. You are cured! You raise a cheer to the spirit for such aid. But what about the people you have left behind? They have no such guardian. You follow the track down a steep decline. Well, can you backtrack, I wonder, out of interest? No, I don't think you can. We've left them, we couldn't cure them at the time, but they were working away and they're still alive, you know, they're missing a few limbs. We could have been in such a predicament ourselves. Right, head for the town. Okay, so our spirit has left us. For now. Somewhere down the hill you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between three peaks, is a village. and quite a large one at that, compared to that mournful spot you have just passed through. Behind you the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. Surely we can't come a cropper in 2 villages in succession. Approach. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. You freeze. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature the size of a bird. It is a childlike creature, but very thin, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Oh, but I have a feeling it's probably more harmful than it looks. But Heinrich can't help. It's no threat. Try talking to the creature. Greetings, little creature. And hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. Jan? What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I'm a Minimite. Pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes Heinrich's earlobe. And what can you tell me about the village? You point down to the valley. Is it safe? That's Britanti, and it's very safe. It's the largest village in the whole of the Shamutanti Hills. Every traveller who comes this way spends at least one night there, so it's a little bit expensive, especially for Minimites, but pleasant enough. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can we? What do you want with me? See that village? The creature replies. Last time I tried to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome. So I wouldn't mind some protection. Well, let's go. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowel of the valley. The hills on the other side are toweringly tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Sleep outside, enter the town. Nah, come on. Oh my god, this doesn't... I've got a bad feeling about this. You continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road. The people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See? The Minimite on your shoulder remarks. I told you it was a happy place. What's going on? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No! If there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is the Festival of the Young. Festival of the Young? What's that? Well, take a look. Jan waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and he's spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads, Glandragger's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. I don't think we should be interfering. I don't think they mean any harm. We'll leave the grandmother be. The old woman. Yeah, you consider helping, but there's nothing you can do. It's their festival after all. The tavern. Good a place to start as any. Not that we can afford a drink, though. Behind the bar, a thick-set man is wiping mugs down with an old rag. Greetings, stranger, he calls. I'm Glandragger. Can I be helping you? Greetings. I've come a long way. I'm sure you have. Take a seat. You do so, and Jan leaps up onto the counter. Glandragger seems amused rather than alarmed by the creature. How much is ale? You ask. 2 gold pieces, and it's the finest in town. Well, it's the only ale in town. I make sure of that. I have no gold, Heinrich mentions. The innkeeper gives you a long hard look, deciding whether or not he trusts you. Then he relents and pours you a mug. Oh, a freebie! Nice! Don't tell anyone I gave you that, but it's on the house. Glandrager smiles. You look like you've been on the road a while. You have no idea, you reply. Glandragor nods. Tell me about yourself. Me? Why, he spreads his hands. I'm a normal enough fellow. What you see is what you get with me, that's what I always say. Now, and tell me about the village. Glandragor shrugs. Not much to say. What you see is what you get again. This place keeps going because it's on the only route between Carre and Cantopani. If one of these mountains falls or the river freezes over, then this place will be a desert in 2 weeks. Carre. Well, we are headed to Carre. Of course you are, he grins. Didn't I just tell you that? And what can you tell me about it? Oh, Carre. I loved a girl in Carre once. It's the town for love, you know. You have to live every day like it's your last in Carre, because the chances are high that that will be the case. Now, there's a city of thieves if ever I saw one. Well, we're a survivor. Good for you, he replies with a nod. I suppose the worst that happened to me there was a broken heart in the end. Glandragor goes back to wiping down his bar, and then a thought occurs to him. You'll be passing through Torapani, I suppose? The Sphins in Torapani are normally a merry lot, but they're pretty depressed at the moment. There's a real gloom about the place. Yeah, what's the matter with them? Oh well, he thinks for a moment, then waves away whatever was on the tip of his tongue. I'm sure it's nothing to concern you. From the counter, Jan issues a loud burp. He's been sipping ale from puddles on the bar top, and is now quite drunk. Wake up, you silly thing. You poke the little creature, who clambers woozily up your finger, but then topples off and onto the floor. Leave him there if you like, Glandragor says. I'll pick him up and put him in a mug. But you don't quite manage it. At the last moment, Jan rouses himself and flies, wobblingly, back onto your shoulder. I love you, he whispers into your ear. We've only just met. Right, we'll head further into town. Take part in these festivities, maybe. You head out of the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the crystal waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. You stop by the group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jan, whom they delight in poking, tickling and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back!" Another shouts, "The water is good for you!" Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulder. You leave the girls to their snickering. Well, we've got to visit the waterfall, haven't we? Always a sucker for a scenic spot. You go back past the girls and head up a path that climbs through a crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by a thundering. It's quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and see close up the waterfall you glimpsed from the hilltop earlier today, plunging down from the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. It is stunning. There is only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. But you do not have any. Probably not best to disturb the ruffian. Maybe we should cast a spell, but what exactly could we cast to make this ruffian come a cropper? Let's get our spell book back to the beginning, and we'll consider casting some. If he's collecting money, he's gonna want some from us, and if we can't give it to him, he's probably gonna get a little bit arsey. We could send Jan to scout ahead, but I think he's got to like Jan, has Heinrich, and probably wouldn't want to put him in danger. So we're going to cast a spell just to be on the safe side. Right, we have S, N and D. So dumb. He will drop something. Maybe he'll drop his coins and we can run off with them. What do you reckon? Would that work? Oh, dud. What would dud do? Can't remember what dud does. Doc, does, dud. Oh. Oh! He's collecting coin. We could create a magical pile of coin to distract him. Not a bad idea. That works, doesn't it? Here's some coin and then off we go. Like S and N. So let's have a look at the S. Actually, the easiest thing to do is just to... So we could do sap, cause depression. We could... S... Is that an I? 6, clone the caster. It's not really going to help us, is it? What else we got? N. N. Come on. It's not clicking very well. N. There we go. N. I. F. Create a stench. Or NIP. Cause speed. No, none of them work. Right. So out of all the ones that we can possibly cast, it seems to me that actually Dud is going to serve us best. Do you actually need a gold coin for Dud, though? I don't think you do. You cast a spell, but nothing happens. The ruffian comes over to you. 3 gold pieces to visit the water, he declares. 3 gold pieces? You shake your head. For a bath? That is too much. The waters are healing, the ruffian explains quickly. They'll do more than make you clean. Further haggling. I'll give you 2. The ruffian considers you for a moment. He seems to be won over by your manner. Oh, all right. 2 gold pieces, but don't tell anyone I did it. 1? The ruffian almost chokes on his own phlegm. I'm not a charity, he splutters. You must think me a fool, you reply. The waterfall may be beautiful, but it is not worth risking your gold on. Reluctantly, you turn back and head back into the village. As you pass the girls, they sneer to each other. He doesn't smell any better. Aww! I wanted to visit the waterfall. Find an inn? Can we get a free night? You reckon? We got a free drink. Okay. The proprietor is a formidable young girl armed with a baker's paddle. Let's see if we can get a freebie out of her. 5 gold pieces. No. Damn it. Right, camping outside again. Not making any coin at the moment, are we? Don't want to turn to crime to get it. I was thinking that if we'd have probably attacked that ruffian, we may have been able to take his pot of coins, but that's not the way to go about business. You make your way out of the village and into a stand of tall dry trees under the overhang of one of the cruel mountainsides. Between curling roots you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above a knot and is quickly asleep. You are tired enough to follow suit, but you are hungry from not having eaten. I'm actually... I think not eating will lower our stamina. But times are hard now. We have no gold and 2 rations, so we're gonna have to stretch them just in case we don't find any. So we're gonna go another night without. We're gonna go a night without food. We had this food yesterday, so this is the first night we're gonna settle down without eating and see what the effects are. You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Perhaps a few hours pass when you wake suddenly, aware of a shadow moving between the tree trunks. It turns as it sniffs the air. A wolfhound. Definitely time to cast a spell, I think. Definitely time to cast a spell. Right. Jig? Yeah, let's try a jig. Will a jig work on a creature whilst we run off? Let's try it. Oh dear. Perhaps wolves are not inclined to dance. Perhaps it only works on humanoid creatures. Uh-oh. We're in our first fight. Right, so we have our first battle. Now we have to kill the creature by overpowering him. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, I think, he's roaring and howling, which makes me think he's probably going to go for an aggressive attack to start with. So we'll let him waste his energy and we'll defend first. The wolfhound creeps towards you, jaws dripping and fur shining wet. You raise your sword to defend yourself, fearing the monster will spring. It bounds forward. You are shaken, but not stirred. It howls and whimpers. That could be a defensive mechanism. Howling and whimpering? I don't think we have to go very high. I'm going to go 2.5. Yeah, he's defending. Thought he might have been. You try a lunge. The wolfhound drops back. It drops back. Why is it dropping back? Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go for it here. Gonna go 5. Cut! Oh, it's defending again! Damn it! You twist your grip for about a manic blow, but the wolf turns tail. It is tensing, preparing to pounce. 5.2? Could be... I think what we do here is I think we defend again. Yeah, look at that, going for a full-blooded attack. It goes for blood. You react on instinct. You dodge around a tree for cover. The wolfhound scrapes at the ground as if digging its own grave. Again, I think it's going to defend possibly here. I'm going to go 2. Yep, defends again. Right. Not wanting to leave yourself open, you try a gentle stinging strike. The wolfhound runs quickly into the trees, but it has not gone for good, and a moment later it creeps back into view. It moans and howls. It's obviously going to attack. It can't get more than 6.7, can it? Going for the killer thrust. Oh! It defended again! It races away. It's tensing its hind legs. It's preparing for an attack here. It's preparing for an attack. We shall defend ourselves. He goes for another lunging attack, going for Heinrich's blood. You fling your sword up and knock the beast back, but you cannot hide forever. It's like a game of chess, is this? 5.5. Cut! Ah, defending again! It's crawling, its fur thick with dried blood. Finish him. He's probably still got more power than that. Right, one more defend. Yeah, one more defend. Fern spittle flies past your head. Right, we're finishing him now, come what may. Boom! Shameful. A shameful display. You put all your strength into a swing of your blade. The strike connects as the wolfhound weakly opens its jaws to bite. You plunge your blade between its teeth and all the way down to its heart. The wolfhound howls a gurgling, blood-soaked sound, and then it dies. The beast defeated, you pause to regain your breath and wipe your sword and drop off to sleep? Really? After all that melodrama? Jan flutters down and resettles on your shoulder. Your dreams are full of plagued victims, their faces raw with boils and streaming sores. The rest of the night, though, passes silently. And we are ready to move on beyond Biritanti. So we've contracted the plague, prayed and managed to cure ourselves, but the village we couldn't help. We came through a village where a festival of the young was going on, got a free ale, didn't get to see the waterfall, and then was attacked by a wolf in our sleep. We still have 2 rations, we still have no gold, and we have slightly reduced stamina. But all in all, I'd say we're still making good progress towards Kari. So join me in the next session to see what happens next on Heinrich's Travels. Till then, see you soon.